Hi everybody, welcome back to Pure Backgammon. We've got another unboxing video for you today, but before we get into that, as always, of course, like, subscribe, comment below, and follow, and check us out on Instagram at Pure Backgammon. This unboxing today is very special, and it's special because, at my core, at my heart, even more than being a backgammon player, even more than being a backgammon collector, I am a storyteller. And this board today could very well end a story. Now, realistically speaking, is this the end of me collecting backgammon boards? No, let's be reasonable. I will say that every board that I've, purchased recently or kind of had my eye on or been tracking is here. It's inside my backgammon collection headquarters lair. So for the first time in a long time, I'm not expecting, shipments to be delivered or that sort of thing. So we are at sort of a conclusion or even maybe a nadir, which is a great word, one of my favorite words, a nadir of collecting insofar as that I'm technically no longer collecting. But this board in particular, might be the end of a story, where it certainly is. It brings a story full circle. And, for all the boards that we've unboxed together, because this is a communal experience. We do this together. We are a tribe, if you will, a community, a group of like-minded individuals who enjoy unboxing backgammon sets. And I thank you for joining me. But what is more human and communal than a story, right? Gathering around, the campfire and that sort of thing. So I'm not gonna linger too much on this story, but this story just needs to be told, and I'll try to keep it somewhat brief. I started this collection, fascination, hobby, addiction, whatever you want to call it, crippling, personality trait. I started this February 3rd, 2024. I got two sets for $35. One was a Pacific Games, the hard shell plastic briefcase style. Perhaps you've seen it here and there. And the other was a fairly generic blue hardtop cork inlay. The cork was a little grimy, a little grody. The pieces were kind of cool. The dice were really worn. The doubler was it was almost like a blank die, basically. But that blue set came to me to be known as a Hoi Polloi. A Hoi Polloi set. Now, Hoi Polloi, from what I can gather, was a brand in the 70s that made these backgammon sets, and they're fairly distinctive. The hard shell case is one of them. They look like an old briefcase or like an old piece of Samsonite luggage or something like that. The cork inlay, the rounded point, the round-tipped points, and the pieces, which I came to learn kind of after the fact or later on, the pieces are Bakelite pieces. The difference is they tend to not be that real swirly, kind of, I don't have the word for it, but you see my hand gestures, you know what I'm talking about. They don't, on first glance, they don't look like most Bakelite pieces, which look like sort of again, I can't describe it. You know what I'm talking about. Now, when my collection in 2024 kind of got out of control and a lover whom I live with said, hey, you gotta do something about this. The space you're taking up and the money you're spending is a little irresponsible, to be perfectly frank. And I started, and I didn't acquiesce. I agreed. Okay, this is the hallmark of good communication for a couple. I was like, you know what? maybe you're onto something here. I will sell some of these sets that don't mean as much to me. And for whatever reason, I ended up selling this Hoi Polloi. And, because of the Pure Backgammon Instagram page, I had made connections with people and that sort of thing. Not necessarily friends, but, acquaintances and people who supported the page. And I ended up selling this Hoi Polloi set to a guy. It was the best of both worlds. I made a good chunk of money on it, because I only spent $20 on this thing back in the day. And he bought it from me for, a little more than 100 or something. So he kind of got a deal because he got a nice Bakelite vintage set for kind of below market, but I made like 4x or 5x profit off of it, So everybody wins, but it's one of only two sales I've made where, I kind of wish I hadn't. I kind of wish I'd kept that around just because it's vintage. I know I've gone on record as kind of dogging Bakelite or the fascination with Bakelite pieces from time to time, but at the end of the day, they've got a cachet, and I like to, claim I have some, even though I already have some, such is the nature of Bakelite, such is the nature of collecting, almost anything, such is really the nature of human greed. But it was just a good set, and it less so. I mean, the set itself wasn't that good. I mean, I told you the cork, which I've seen on a lot of Hoi Polloi sets over the years, the cork was a little grimy. There's like a strange black film that tends to kind of affect those boards. But anyway, the board wasn't anything too special, which is why I was willing to kind of let it go in the first place. But it was technically the first board that I ever bought as part of this, collecting hobby that I picked up. I had owned a few sets before I really jumped all in 2024. So it was, there's sort of a strange kind of emotional, a longing, if you will, to have this board back, to have this decision back. Because, that's where regret lives. Regret lives up here at 11:30 o'clock at night when you should be asleep and you're just lying in bed wide-eyed staring at the ceiling thinking about that Hoi Polloi that you sold for not as much as you should have sold it for, but you shouldn't have sold it at all is the point. So anyway, I started my journey collecting with a Hoi Polloi set that I regrettably, halfway through my collecting, experience, sold and got rid of. And my act 2 and my act 3 of this story have been a man tortured, questioning himself, his own judgment, his own taste, questioning, his sense of greed, as I alluded to, perhaps confronting some of the darkness that lives within his soul, and the reasons why negative feelings attend the action of spreading the goodness of backgammon. That'll keep you awake at night. That's where the story began. And I made this, by the way. I'm pretty proud of it. And this, however, is where the story could potentially end. Because I saw this thing for sale, and as you can tell, it would appear to be a rather large box, and I am so pumped, not only about what I think is in here, but how much it cost. And you don't need to be a film scholar or a professor of folklore to understand what is in here based on my previous comments. To call that foreshadowing would not be accurate. I basically told you what's in here already, but now we're going to look at it together and see what it looks like. And the price tag on this, because these Hoi Polloi sets, I checked eBay just a couple days ago. These Hoi Polloi sets go for, people are asking 180, 200, 220. These are, and I think that's the Bakelite bump they're talking, but these are good sets, and I'm about to see exactly how good. We are about to see exactly how good. And this buy really, well, we got to crack it open and see, but I feel like this whole buy, this item in this box is a redemption of sorts for that mistaken fool who sold the Hoi Polloi. The Hoi Polloi that birthed everything. This very video, the YouTube channel, the Instagram page was going already, but that Hoi Polloi just means so much to me now. But alas, if I have to lose that one to gain this one, maybe that was really the fate or the destiny of this journey all along. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I can see just a sliver of the outer shell. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a big boy. It's a big boy. Okay. So, first things first, this big boy is bigger than the Hoi Polloi that I had. And I had a feeling this would be a big boy. 18 and a half by almost 12. Ooh! So this is it. I mean, you remember I said it looks like a Samsonite case? I mean, it doesn't really look like much, but good handle, good latches. We can't dance around it. There's a significant kind of dent here. I want to see if I can get the angle for you. See that? There's like it's like a breach in the back end here. So that's too bad. I didn't know about that. But I can live with that. A nice big Hoi Polloi. Oh, here's okay, I think the inside's going to be good. I told you, this is the third time I've mentioned these sets have a tendency to have sort of a black kind of grime that sort of accumulates across the cork. Oh, yo, dude. Yo. Oh, okay. Oh, it is, frankly, this is such a wow. Okay, this board is not without some imperfections, but look at these thick boys. Oh my gosh, these pieces are huge. These pieces are massive. Oh my god, look at the color on these, dude. Oh yeah. Ooh, these are big, dude. These are big pieces. Well, they're an inch and a half, probably, right? Yeah, not even actually. They're like inch and 7/16, I'd say. But they're half an inch thick. Yo. Okay. Now, like I said, the board is not without some defects. So we saw the damage on the outside. It has affected, if you can see this, it has affected the inside right there. There's some chipping and peeling of the cork. So boy, I've had a set every once in a while where I've noticed that there's a dent on the outside that affects the inside. And I just wonder, like, did somebody pick this thing up and like slam somebody over the head with it or something like that? Because that would frankly add to the cachet of the board, in my opinion. Oh, look at this visual. Look at these pieces, dude. The pieces definitely do need to be polished a little bit. Dude, there's heft here. These pieces are hefty. Original dice. This is what the Hoi Polloi dice used to look like. We're obviously going to test the dice action in a minute here. No cups. No dice cups with this. Okay, so there's a few, shortcomings. The doubler is in better. Oh, the doubler's in pretty good shape. The 16 is faded, but everything else looks really good. This is the original doubler. This is Hoi Polloi. I mean, again, kind of almost an average board, you know? But let's set these pieces up. And these pieces most definitely, the yellow ones in particular, I cannot tell a lie. Yeah, they need a little polish job there. But these are Bakelights. Oh, smells good. Love a board that smells good, you know? Anyway, oh, look at the height of these pieces. Oh, yeah. Dude, these pieces are sick. These are great. This is a great set. We got to set this thing up. The cork, I mean, I got to be honest, the cork is cheap. Oh, the other thing you got to notice, and maybe I'll show you after I put everything away. I mean, the painting of the points is kind of imperfect. They're overlapping in places. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. You can't really see that because of the camera angle, but it's not a perfect board, but it's big, dude. This would be a great like take out to the bar board, you know. It's big. I mean, these pieces, dude, just how tall would a stack of 15 pieces even be? It might reach my ceiling. I mean, these pieces are so big and thick and heavy. I mean, look at this thing. This is like, I feel like, oh my God, it's like stacking uranium on top of each other. It's like there's like warmth radiating off of these pieces. That's how powerful they are. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Okay. We got to get the gameplay going, and we're going to be doing it in a way that we often don't do here on Pure Backgammon with our hands, man. We're just going to be throwing dice. Okay, so you got white and red dice. You got the doubler right here. We like the doubler. Nice little trays here. I mean, the pieces are really fantastic. Okay, but let's play some 3-ply real quick. 5-1 for yellow, for white, or for yellow. Gold, I should say. Okay, got to be standard. Got to just come down. 13-8, unstack your back points. How does red counter that? Okay, decent dice action. They are boxy, squared off dice. This is a board that's very right angular, you know, because there's just no, you know, there's no contour. There's no softness to this board, which again feeds this narrative of violence. You know, what happened to that board on the outside that it would damage the inside? You know, maybe somebody was trying to hit somebody and this guy raised the board up and it caught, you know, a strike from a lance or something. And maybe this board saved a guy's life. That's what's so crazy about this set. This set could very well have killed a man or saved a man's life. 4-1 for red. You know what? Let's have some fun with it. It's just a couple test ply real quick. The black film, as you can see, nowhere to be found. That's what first caught my eye when I cracked this thing open. Really, as far as cleanliness goes, again, there's some damage there. As far as cleanliness goes, this is like a pristine cork inlay. Very fine grain cork, too. 6.2. Are you going to hit? I mean, I think you gotta. Let's have some fun with it. Hit that guy, put red on the bar. How does red answer? Decent dice action. It's a 6-2 for red, so I think you stack the 2 for sure, but then what? I mean, I don't know. 13-7, that's a little crazy, isn't it? You got one extra back already, but what's your alternate? I guess your alternate, does that do anything for you? Do you run the 24 piece? This is tricky. This would be good to investigate. This would be good to argue about with friends, not run through XG. All right, I'm going to slot the 7-point. It's probably not the best move. All right, final roll here for yellow. That was good dice action. 5-3. They got a hit. Yeah, they got another hit there. Okay, so hit him for sure. And then I'll make that guy safe with the 3. So yellow's cooking. I mean, you might want to consider dropping that next turn if you're yellow. But let's see what red does here. Last roll. It's terrible. That was good dice action. And I play, if a die lands on a piece flat, that's good. Regrettably, for red, it's a double 6. So now if you're yellow, do you double or do you... Let's play one more ply. Do you double or do you try and play? Because now you might gammon this guy. I mean, maybe. Too early to double. 4-1 makes this guy safe at least. And then what does red do with it? Double 4s. Oh, okay. Let's let's see. I think I slot the 5-point, the golden point, and then I think I bring... Nah, I don't want to do that. I think you do that. I don't really know for sure. I still think you consider doubling if you're white. But anyway, so that's the Hoi Polloi, and yo, these pieces, dude. I mean, forget smell-o-vision. I wish we had like a seismic element to YouTube where you could feel what I feel, you know, like the pressure on my ligaments, you know, how much effort is my elbow and my shoulder and my wrist really putting into holding these massive Bakelite pieces. So, oh, the red pieces are so sick. These yellow pieces definitely need a little polish, but oh yeah. Dude, okay, so I got this on an auction site. The winning bid, all in, taxes, buyer's premium, everything, I paid $8.61 for this set. So that's pretty sick. And shipping was like $20 and change. So, ooh, nice and snug fit over there. Okay. So, in conclusion, I get... Here, let's see if you can see some of the weird... Like, see this? Like, the white is obviously overlapping with the red. Like, same over here. Like, I don't know, you know? On one hand, it's an imperfection. On the other hand, it's kind of one of those nifty little anomalies that make the board unique. So, for less than $30, I get a Hoi Polloi back into my possession that's bigger than the one I had back in the day, with better pieces, a better doubler, better cleanliness cork inlay, with all of the original accessories, sans dice cups. I don't know if they ever came with dice cups, to be perfectly honest. The exterior, despite this damage, is great. Great handle. And as I said, this is like, it's so light. It's the pieces are so heavy, but the board itself is so light. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's kind of a cheap board. It's kind of cheaply made. I mean, you saw the paint on the points is overlapping, and there's damage here, which is too bad. You know, a stronger board maybe wouldn't sustain that type of damage. But then again, the latches are good, the handle's good, and the pieces are to die for. So this is the Hoi Polloi. This is the Big Boi Hoi Polloi. I got it back, and the story has ended. And my dog, you maybe... You know, I think that's my sign to wrap this up. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, Instagram. And until next time, it's your role!